I got a thing for wooden pumpkins. I don't know what it is, but hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a good week. I hope you're doing okay. There's a lot going on in our country and in the world, and well, we take a deep breath and let's lose our blues for the next 20 minutes, okay? What I want to do today, I want to do a few things. I want to talk about a couple outrageous comments I got last week on my video about I confessed I had a secret crush, and that sent a couple people just like over the cliff. So I want to talk to you about why that would upset some people. But I get so many messages from you saying, we put so much effort and time and money into Christmas. I really don't want to decorate for fall. Could you suggest just a few things I could pick up at a reasonable price that would make my house look festive? And boy, do I have some ideas, because I feel just like you do. I'm going to decorate for fall, but I really couldn't care less. But I want it to be nice for neighbors and friends and my grandchildren. And I want to show you about 10 things that I picked up right around the corner at Walmart. I picked up a few things at Amazon, and well, a few things over the years I have thrifted. When it comes to decorating, for spring, for summer, and especially for fall, I love painted wooden trays. And you can get them on Etsy, you can thrift them. There's even some on Amazon. Both of these that I'm going to show you, I did thrift, but well, they're hand painted and they're blue. And why I bring that up is when you have the base of a tray and you have a color to work off of, then so many things can complement that, like the color of your pumpkins, the color of your candles. So I can get my light pumpkins that match the white in the tray. I can buy these beautiful, beautiful sand and fog candles. These are so pretty. They smell so good. This is falling leaves. When you buy a candle and it's titled Fallen Leaves, you're going to get that, burnt leaves smell, and I just love that smell. Well, other than just kind of sitting down with the grandchildren, I really don't want to fuss with real pumpkins, and my very favorite type of artificial pumpkin is a beautiful wood pumpkin. So when you have a wood pumpkin and you have a wood tray, it just looks very classy, especially if you have an old home like I do, 1939. There's something about a carved wooden pumpkin that's so beautiful. And I want to show you some pumpkins that I picked up at Walmart, and they're not wood, and I wouldn't expect them to be, but they are off color. Let me get a couple and I'll show you. These aren't wood pumpkins, but they're off color. They're off-season color pumpkins. And I think that's kind of cool. It kind of makes a statement. It stands out. So let's say all you want to do is maybe put down a couple festive holiday candles and maybe a few pumpkins and, I don't know, maybe a little garland that you bought of fallen leaves and put it on the mantle. Call it good. But something that is going to be a little unique, a little bit different, a little bit off of what somebody isn't, they're not used to seeing it. That's what makes your dollar go a long way, is when you're picking out things that, they're unusual. People will remember them and they'll be impressed by them. Is it hat weather? No, it's sweater weather. It's sweater weather. There are a lot of people who spend a lot of money on fall decorations, but to me, decorating for fall isn't really so much about the objects, but just setting a mood. And this beautiful mood of transition. These candles, aren't these pretty? Oh my goodness. They have a beautiful poem here, or a story. These I got from Marshall's. These are the sand and fog candles. Oh, they smell so good. But why I wanted those candles is I thrifted this very large blue tray So I thought it looked really pretty on the coffee table. And I thrifted that vase last year, filled it full of my hydrangeas from my garden. I'm going to actually cut some more hydrangeas this afternoon to add to that. I wanted to share with you some of the things that I did to make my house look like fall. I didn't want to take a lot of time, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money, but I wanted it festive for myself and for my grandchildren, and I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I did that cost me very little money, and I do think it turned out real cute. You know, I have a 1939 Cape Cod cottage type home, so I'm not dealing with a whole lot of space, but I wanted the rooms to be warm and inviting, and I used the color orange. I kept almost everything that I had, except that I brought in the color orange and some pumpkins, and basically that was it. You can go to Walmart and you can get the cutest little garland for under $6 for your mantle, for your piano, let's say, for your staircase, you know, the banister going up, all kinds of things. This is very nice, and this is right around $6. Now, I got one also from Amazon, and I believe that one was a little bit more expensive. I want to say $10. And the quality was higher than this one. And I wrapped it around a tree that I have in the corner with lights, and it looks just cute as a button. But yeah, I just wanted to mention, if you wanted to spruce up something, you know, you go to Walmart, you buy the garland, you know, you toss it on your banister and you're good. Hey, you've spent all day decorating. It's just garland. I don't have a very large living room area, but I've tried to do it in neutrals, whites and tans and oatmeals, and so it's fall, and so when I bring in something with a pop of color, it goes a long way, and it makes people feel just, you know, it's the holidays, it's fall. And so I just love bringing in the orange pillows and the orange throws. These pillows, they're not real high quality, but I think these ran about $7 at Walmart. I picked up 2, called it good. Ooh, didn't even break a sweat. Well, it is sweater weather. But I did spend a little bit more. I spent about $30 on a beautiful chenille orange throw. Now I have this in ivory, and these are the most beautiful throws I've ever seen in my whole life. It's almost like a blanket. Desi loves these. So I did splurge, and I did get a beautiful burnt orange throw for my living room. And I didn't change anything else. So I have the oatmeals, I have the tans, I have the whites, but there's this pop of color, and you swear, just because I brought in 2 orange pillows and an orange throw, you're just like, oh, that's too much orange. I mean, it's amazing the power of color and what it does. A little bit goes a long way, just like a sweater in fall. The side table is mostly whimsical and fun for my grandchildren. This is where they get their cookies and brownies. And I've got some fun candles, and I brought that up from the basement. I got that a couple years ago, and I didn't get real flowers either. I just took every flower that I had that was either yellow or tan and just threw it in a vase and called it good. I think what I love the most about this year is I basically just took what I had and then made new little arrangements, new little vignettes, and made it all fresh again. So I was very surprised at how little I had to buy to make my house feel like fall for me and my family. Aren't these cute? These are placemats, Better Homes and Gardens. These are on sale at Walmart right now, and I think they're $4.99. The candles are under $6. Aren't they cute? I rarely ever buy cheap artificial flowers at Walmart, but I did not want to mess around with real flowers right now, you know, just changing that icky water just didn't feel like it. So I wanted to concentrate on other things, so I bought that and I thought it turned out pretty well. What I should do when I'm wearing this blouse is I should just wear a whistle. That would work, right? And then I look like a referee. All right, never mind. I had so much fun last week, and it was so personally rewarding to me that you reacted and seemed to understand and enjoy the story I told about this woman painter, Lily, and her lover, Robert, and it was very, very bittersweet. Dysfunctional, I'll give you that, absolutely. But it was a love story. So that brought me to confessing about my secret crush. Well, every man on earth that is friends with me and watches my videos, every single one of them just started treating me so differently. Like some were like, oh, am I your secret crush? And others were like, am I your secret crush? The only person that didn't ask me if he was my secret crush was my secret crush. What happened last week surprised me so much because I had two very angry comments about me talking about this man I've fallen in love with and how it's not the right time to tell him, and it may never be the right time, but that I'm enjoying being in love with him. All right, so there I said it. I'm enjoying it. And their comment was, how dare you? How dare you at your age act like this? How dare you at your age talk about wanting to be with a man? I mean, that's just grotesque. You should be grateful that you live every day. You should be doing volunteer work. You should be going to church more. You should behave and age gracefully. She just wrote that like 3 times, age gracefully and stop making a fool out of yourself. And I just thought, really? You want me to take love and passion and longing and feeling alive? You want me to take that and strike that from my uniform of being a proper woman who is aging gracefully? Well, no. I'm I'm not going to do that. One of the worst things that I could do is to divorce myself from the woman that I was and the woman that I could be. Loving someone, what's wrong with that? And I thought about it, Why in the world would this woman be so angry with me? So this is what I came up with. Sometimes when we get older, we think back on our life and we feel a lot of loss. Things that we wanted but we never got. That big mansion on the hill, right? Well, it's probably not in the cards, is it? And maybe if we've lost someone we loved, or we lost a husband, or we lost our partner some way, we grieve deeply. But we're women, we're strong, we go on with our lives. We never ever allow ourselves to want. Because if you allow yourself to feel, if you allow yourself to have desires and to want, what happens if you don't get what you so desire? You crumble. Some people crumble. Another loss. One more loss is not tolerable. So why not just wall it all off? That part of my life is dead. I'm not even gonna look. That doesn't work for me. I don't want to be disconnected from life. I don't want to let go of my femininity. I don't want to let go of the reason I paint my toenails. I know it sounds silly, but I loved being that young girl in my bedroom playing Beatle records and dreaming about how someday I would marry George Harrison. And yeah, it's true that maybe, love passed me by as far as I didn't have a happy ending. That's true. It probably isn't in the cards for me. But why can't I fall in love? Why is it so grotesque, as this woman said, at my age? Why is that unacceptable for a woman my age to even entertain the thought of having a crush, of having a relationship? And I honestly believe that it's just, maybe you have to just be so brave to love. My mama always told me that life is like a river. It just keeps moving and it keeps flowing, and you have a choice. You can sit on the bank and watch other people swim by, or you can get right in there and go with the flow of life. Because every single day is so important and it's so precious. Not every day is a good day, but every day is an important day. And you got to be part of life. You got to live. Some days, yes. Some days I don't get in there and swim with life. Some days I just have an old crappy raft and I just put it in the water and it doesn't go anywhere. I have bad days, sure. But I never, ever, ever want to give up on love or something different or something more or an adventure. Even if it hurts. Even if it'll break my heart. When someone says something very critical of you or very cruel, it's something that they're dealing with in their life. It's just a projection. When someone says, I hate that about that person, psychologists say what they're really saying is, I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid that quality I hate in that person is part of me inside. And so when I got that comment, I thought, It isn't that they're jealous of what I have. They're jealous that I still want. They're jealous that for some reason I can still feel and I can still desire. Maybe they fear that in themselves. Or maybe they've told themselves so many times that being numb is okay. They want everybody to be that way. I don't know. It's not my place to judge them. It's my place to live my life the best way I know how.
Right in the middle of nowhere is this very simple wood bench right by the river. Maybe you'd only find something like this in a college town. When your mind is open and your heart is full, and you have your whole life ahead of you.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Didn't Desi do a good job last week just sitting there and letting me give him a haircut? I love that. If you get a chance down below, could you share maybe something about decorating your house for fall or Christmas? Just something fun or anything that's on your mind. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I just have a feeling somebody needs to hear you're going to be okay. And all things do pass. So with that, please have yourself a wonderful, brand new, safe week. And when you're done with your week, please come back and see me and Desi, okay? All right, it's a deal. We'll be here. In the end, the world is equal to the love you made. Aw, Desi really likes the Beatles. Whenever I try to sing a Beatles song, I don't get it.